Hello everyone, this is part 34 of What If Naruto Was Like Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto was asleep peacefully in his own bed. He hadn't made a big deal of it, but he had flown around the entire village a few times and even saw how high he could go. He made it to about 10,000 feet, not that he knew that though. When he reached 12,000 feet he kind of blacked out and fell back towards the ground. The only thing that saved his life was that QBS the taste out of his mouth in the mindscape and woke him back up with enough time to form another cloud and stop his descent. That led to him, freezing cold, plopping down in his bed and drifting off to sleep, allowing QB to berate him about how stupid it was to be that high in the air, as if he would ever need to go anywhere near that high. It had been a week and Akiza was to get back either late the night before or early that morning. He would know when she was back because he was certain she would crawl into bed with him and they would have a nice little 3 or 4 hour nap before engaging in some adult activities, because he missed her, and he knew she missed him too. Sensing the presence of someone entering the room, Naruto opened his eyes with a smile only to find Haku standing there, Haku Nichan. Haku couldn't seem to meet his eyes with hers and had a look of trepidation on her pretty features. Naruto-kun, the Hokage wants you to report to her office. Right now. Naruto groaned and sat up out of bed. What? Why now? She's really going to call me up for a mission right now before Akiza-chan gets back in. Bar-chan is going to have hell to pay when I get in there. He noticed the expression on Haku's face. What's the matter, Haku-chan? Haku bit her lip and moved forward, pulling her future brother-in-law into a hug that surprised him. Naruto was confused, but returned the hug nonetheless. Once he heard Haku sniffle on his shoulder, however, he pulled away to see that her eyes were rather puffy. Are you alright? What's wrong? Did Big Boss do something stupid? Haku shook her head and wiped at her eyes. You should get going, Naruto-kun. Get dressed and don't keep Hokage-sama waiting, okay? Haku pasted on a false smile trying to convince him she was fine. Naruto didn't like it, but she was right. Tsunade would be pissed at him if he kept her waiting and he didn't feel like getting something thrown at him today. Neither did he feel like getting socked in the face and sent flying all the way across the village. Even if he could right himself in midair now, the punch itself still hurt. Letting the matter drop for now, Naruto nodded and moved around Haku towards his dresser and closet to grab clean clothes. Okay. I'm going to catch a quick shower and head over there. I'll see you when I get back, Haku Nichan. Haku continued to smile until Naruto entered the bathroom and shut the door behind him. She then headed to the room that she and Joshiro shared and sat on the bed. Once she heard the sound of the shower running, Haku began weeping to herself inconsolably. XXX. Awagako, Tsuchikage's office. Kurotsuki bowed in front of the desk of Onoki before standing and giving her report. Mission complete, Tsuchikage-sama. Akiza Tamagawa is in our custody as we speak. Onoki, the grizzled old Tsuchikage, smirked deviously at hearing that. Very good work, Kurotsuki. It seems you were correct. You were the right person for the job. Kurotsuki beamed slightly at the man's praise. Well, Han was also a great help. I couldn't have succeeded with the capture without his assistance. Onoki's mustache twitched, so the Fullmetal brat stuck his nose into the situation again, did he? Kurotsuki looked away. Not quite. But he was still invaluable to the success of the mission. Onoki scoffed. Yes, I'm sure he was. He said sarcastically, the only reason he was sent was to handle Uzumaki, and he didn't show himself, so it was simply a risk of your health sending him with you. He will break one of these days, Kurotsuki, and hopefully you will not be here to see it. She looked around the room uncomfortably before looking at her grandfather in curiosity. So what will happen to Akiza now? Seki Kiritateru wasn't with her, so I don't know how the bond between her and the tool can be broken for us to redistribute the weapon. Onoki chuckled. Don't you worry about that, Kurotsuki. When we sever the connection and K Akiza, the weapon will summon itself to mark the place where she is. By K, Kurotsuki said. You mean E, right? Yes, of course. Onoki admitted. She will have to be bound heavily once we finish the extraction, as she will be driven into a berserker state and become a mindless K-golem, but once that is done the E will be carried out as intended. Missing ninja get no leniency. An example must be made that there is no desertion from our forces. Naturally Tsuchikage-sama. Kuretsuki replied, when will these things take place? She asked. Onoki smirked once more, why once we extract every bit of information we can on Konoha from her. She's been more useful since deserting than she ever had been. She traveled with that thrice-damned Jiraiya and that runt Uzumaki for 2.5 years. His voice sounded rather pleased on how things had turned out for Iwa from this exchange. Can you imagine the village secrets and treasures the girl became privy to once she earned their trust, and especially when she became Uzumaki's personal whore? Speaking of which, Kuretsuki stopped him from speaking. She had this on her when we captured her. Kuretsuki pulled out the necklace that Naruto had been given by Tsunade. Onoki's eyes widened when she saw that before he began laughing uproariously. This is just perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better S in the face to Konoha. The crystal necklace of Hashirama Senju. Laughs. I can't even imagine how she obtained this, but I don't even have words for this. This retrieval mission has paid off better than I could have possibly imagined. Kuretsuki grinned at seeing how pleased the village leader and her grandfather was at the outcome of everything. If that is everything you need from me. Onoki sat back behind his desk, staring at the necklace in something of a trance. Kuretsuki, you will be paid for the equivalent of 2 S-ranked missions. Well done. Take some time off and I will summon you when you are good and rested. Kuretsuki bowed to Onoki and turned to leave the office. Thank you, grandfather. No, thank you, Kuretsuki. Onoki said to her warmly, you've earned it 10 times over. With that, Kuretsuki left the office and left Onoki to his own devices. I should say, when I heard that your master had brought information of an opportunity to retrieve my wayward Kunoiki, I figured that the price would be steeper than it was. Although with you, his own mole, as a teammate on her squad to signal my granddaughter and our Jinchuriki to take her, the chance of success was too much to ignore. In a swirl of ink, a boy wearing a shirt that revealed his midriff, black pants, a tanto on his back, and a black Konoha Hatei 8 stood in Onoki's office. Danzo-sama revealed this information to you for the good of Konoha. It was revealed that having the girl in our village provided no advantages, as she knew no true secrets of your village. Add that onto the information that she would be privy to by the company she kept being so high up in the village hierarchy, the fact that she was not a loyal-born Konoha shinobi, and had already proven her disloyalty to her own native village, among other negatives to her presence, and returning her to you for the gains we would receive in return were well worthwhile. Onoki looked at the young teenager. Of course. Once I am able to receive the money for the necklace, I will certainly reimburse Danzo's route with 1/5 of the profits. And I will of course support him once he finally decides to take control of Konoha. The route operative bowed to the Tsuchikage. By your leave then, Tsuchikage-sama. With that, he vanished in another swirl of ink. Onoki was once again left alone in his office to marvel at the newly obtained necklace. The scales of balance in the ninja world are finally tipping once more. XXX. Konohagakure, Hokage Tower. Naruto walked into the tower and headed to Tsunade's office to find a man sitting out front with Shizune consoling him for something. The man had on a Konoha Hatei 8 and looked rather scuffed up. His mission must have gone wrong. Poor guy. Shizune looked over at Naruto with a sad look on her face. That guy must have had a rough one. Naruto-kun, go on inside. Tsunade-sama is waiting for you there. Naruto nodded. Alright, Shizune-nichan. Naruto opened the doors to Tsunade's office to find people already inside. Sitting in a chair near Tsunade's desk was Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage, Tsunade's predecessor. Pacing around the room with a barely restrained aura of malice on his form was Naruto's older brother Jushiro. Big boss, what's wrong? What's going on? Jushiro stopped pacing and gestured from Naruto to Tsunade impatiently. Go ahead, tell him what you told me and see how this ends. Tsunade looked at Naruto and sighed deeply before her eyes started resonating sorrow at what she was about to say. Naruto, Akiza is missing in action. Naruto simply stood as still as a statue with horrified eyes. Jushiro walked over and patted him consolingly on the shoulder. Naruto opened his mouth wordlessly several times before he was able to make a sound. How? Tsunade folded her hands in front of her face in a business-like manner. On her mission, her squad was attacked by a shinobi from Iwagakure in an ambush. One of her teammates was K in action, another was recorded missing as of now, and the other was able to arrive here in good enough condition to relay this to us. Naruto turned towards the door, so the guy outside. Tsunade nodded, yes. He was the only one that made it home. They were attacked by a woman named Kuretsuki. Akiza instructed him to flee as she was above his level of skill to handle. She hasn't reported back. He said the woman was instructed to capture her and return her to Iwa. I'm sorry. Naruto just stood there with a blank look on his face as if what she said hadn't registered with him yet. However, after a few minutes of waiting for any kind of response for Naruto and receiving none, Hiruzen walked over to Naruto. Naruto, I know that this is the first time you've lost someone close to you in your life as a shinobi, but do not lament endlessly. Take your time and always remember her, but do not mourn forever. The grief has destroyed many a splendid ninja. Naruto still remained still as if he was processing all that he had heard until his eyes flickered red for a moment and he turned towards the door to leave. Don't worry, Gigi, Tsunade Barkan. I won't mourn her, because she's not S. I'm not going to lament, because I'm going to get her. And I'm not going to lose her, because I'm going to save her and I'm going to turn Iwa into gigantic scar on the planet. Joshiro stopped Naruto and grabbed his shoulder. Oh no, you're not runt. You're insane if you think you're going to Iwa, by yourself. I'm coming with you. Naruto looked at him expressionlessly, getting a grin from his older brother. You don't even know how you're going to destroy that place. What was your plan? Blow it to bits, was the cold response from Naruto. Joshiro shook his head. You never really grasped the concept of what Big F transmutation was originally developed for, did you? Naruto didn't make any indication one way or the other as to whether or not he knew. You think too small, little brother, you think too small. Walk with me. Naruto. Tsunade's voice rang out before they could leave. I can't let you go. You would walk right into the heart of a Wagakur, with the massive bounty of K on sight placed on you, all by yourself, for one girl. Naruto shook his head. Wouldn't you have done it for your loved ones, Bar-chan? Naruto said, getting her to gasp. Wouldn't you have walked right up to the gates of hell and spit in face of the Lord of Makai if you could save them? He turned around and revealed that one of his eyes was S and red to contrast the other that was stone cold blue. You can make it a mission, or you can mark me as a missing nin right now and get everyone to try and capture me, but you won't catch me. And why not, Naruto? Tsunade said, we can't let you go. It's S. If I have to, I will keep you under confinement. I'm not letting you throw your life away like that. Akiza wouldn't want that. No, she wouldn't, you're right. Naruto admitted, but this time it's about what I want. Naruto said, his voice taking on more of an edge as he continued to speak. I haven't done a single thing for myself in my entire life. Right from the start I've done everything for my village, even when I didn't know it. I never said anything. I never asked why me, and when I found out why it had to be me I never dwelled on it. But goddamn it, I finally get something that I want, and I'm just supposed to let her go. He said incredulously with an angry tone. Tsunade narrowed her eyes. Naruto, I understand. Honestly I do, believe me, but I can't let you go. Do you realize that this would be a direct declaration of war if you were caught? We would be at war for this. A war that would be over before it even got started. Naruto said as he walked towards the window, if what Big Boss told me is right, then Iwa won't even exist by the time I'm done. They won't even know what hit them. Tsunade stood up from her desk and her hands on it, cracking it deeply. You would take down the entire village. Just like that. Naruto, that would make you a Jinchuriki. Naruto finished for her, that would make me a Jinchuriki, Bar-chan. This is what I was meant to do from day one. When Kyubi-chan was placed in me I became this village's weapon. Well, sometimes weapons go off by accident, and this one happens to be pointed at Iwa. And you can't make me stop. With that, Naruto threw the windows open and jumped out before forming a cloud under his feet and taking off in a torrent of hot wind. Damn it, Naruto. She turned towards the others to find that only Hiruzen was there. Joshiro had been long gone, probably to prepare his own things for whenever Naruto was to set out. Shizune, order a lockdown of the village gates, he isn't getting out. Said girl had run into the room when she heard Tsunade yell the first time and immediately left to relay the order. What am I going to do, Sarutobi-sensei? Hiruzen sighed and walked over to his student. You know that he's already gone, right? Locking down the village isn't going to work when he can just fly 500 feet over the gate itself. Tsunade sat back down at her desk. He's going to start an entire war over this, and I can't blame him, but damn it, one life for countless others. Hiruzen looked out the open window Naruto flew from. It's a terrible choice to make. One his father had to make on the day of his birth, one I've had to make countless times, one you have and will continue to make until you retire. It doesn't seem as if Naruto is ready to let go and make a choice of that magnitude yet. He turned around and walked out of the office. Don't worry, Tsunade. I will handle this myself, don't worry. XXX. With Naruto, he had left the village without express permission from his village leader. He had directly disobeyed a direct order that instructed him to stay put. Yeah, he was pretty much screwed. Well, if he was going to go missing Nin anyway, he might as well go ahead with the reason he was going to be hunted like game and get Akiza free. Naruto landed a fair distance from Konoha, so far that he knew it would take anyone dispatched from the village to get him a good amount of time to even pick up any kind of trail. And if anyone even got close, he could just fly away further. He then proceeded to s the taste out of his own mouth as hard as he could with his automail arm, leaving a throbbing red mark on his face and drawing B from his lip. Convincing himself that what he had done was real and that he had to deal with the ramifications of his actions, he decided to simply head to Iwa and turn the place into a war zone to get his girl back. He was about to initiate flight when he was cracked across the back of the head hard. He was sent flying and face first into a tree. Damn, that hurt. He hadn't been hit like that since the time he and Akiza made Ero Sennin go hard. OS. Naruto stood up and cleared the swimming sensation from his head. Turning around, he saw the man with his arms crossed and a grim expression on his face. Tsunade sent me a hawk. Naruto wiped a trickle of B that was falling from the hairline of his head as he faced down his sensei. And you're here to stop me, or did you just miss me and want to s me over the head for old time's sake? Go home, Gaki. Jiraiya said firmly, this is out of your league. We're not talking about one or two ninja that are coming after you and are trying to keep you alive. This is an entire fortified village, on alert, full of highly trained shinobi all willing to end your life at the nearest opportunity. You don't know the first thing about the place, and they have a bounty on you anyway. His eyes bored into Naruto's. This is S. Naruto stared at Jiraiya for a long time as the only sound was the sound of nature around them, and even that stopped after a while. I don't care. Naruto clenched his fist so hard the metal of his right hand was rattling. They don't want her, they send her on a mission to either Kami or S alone, miles away from home, with no one that cared. She's nothing but a pawn to all of them. I'm all she's got. Ero Sennin. Jiraiya walked forward. This is bigger than just you or just her. It's about keeping the status quo, kid. The entire state of the 5 great nations is a powder keg set to light off. Anything could spark the next great war. If you do this, you'll throw the entire world into chaos. Do you remember what I told you about peace? Naruto nodded. Peace will only work if all sides want it. Well, it's pretty obvious that Onoki team and his gaggle of mindless drones don't want peace, they want a fight. Well, they picked the wrong person to pick a fight with. I can turn that entire village into AF fading memory in one night. Jiraiya's eyes hardened. You would just wipe them off the face of the planet like that. What about peace? Didn't you promise me that you would help bring peace to the nations? He said, raising his voice. You know I can, Ero Sennin. Naruto said, and I'll help keep the peace. Yeah, I'll bring peace to Iwa. After all, what's more peaceful than death? Jiraiya's hand resonated off of Naruto's face with an audible S that forced Naruto to bite down on his tongue and stagger back. You're being stupid, Jiraiya said resolutely. Naruto spit out a mouthful of B and growled out a response. You did always call me stupid, didn't you? Everybody does. So why can't a stupid F kid do stupid F things? Jiraiya sighed bleakly. Don't do this, brat. Go home. Revenge never solved anything. It just ends up making things worse in the long run. Naruto stared him down with his eyes fully radiating Kyuubi's chakra. You're just saying that because you never got your revenge all in the first shot. I see. I can't let you do it. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. With that, Jiraiya disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto's eyes widened as he felt the burst of chakra from a shunshin behind him and turned around. Gogyu Fuan, 5 elements seal. Jiraiya his 5 fingers. each glowing purple with kanji on the fingertips into Naruto's belly, doubling him over his arm unconscious and allowing Jiraiya to hold him up. XXX. Awagakur, Anbu HQ. Akiza was clad only in her sea bindings and her skirt and sandals, chained to a wall in her cell with her arms outstretched. She was seated on the ground cross-legged with her head lowered towards the ground. The cell door opened up and Kurotsuki stepped inside with her hands on her hips looking down at Akiza. When the light hit her it was evident that there were small gashes about her arms, and she had multiple bruises and marks about her body revealing she had had a rough go of it thus far. So, Kurotsuki started, "This is what it all got you," she said, walking around the cell slowly. Akiza still kept her head down, not acknowledging the girl's presence whatsoever. All of that time and effort you could have spent actually doing your job and eliminating Uzumaki, it didn't have to be this way. Akiza still said nothing, and Kurotsuki kept speaking. "What was wrong with you? You did all of that work to get so far. You were so talented. You graduated at 9, you became a chunin at 11 and a junin at 13. Why did you betray us all? Why did you betray us? For this village was all I could ever do." Akiza said quietly, "That entire time I kept thinking that if I just became a great ninja, people would see me and appreciate me, they would know I exist." She let silence sit for a moment. "I was so lonely. We were always so busy, Kurotsuki, always working. You had family. You had friends that were friends of your family already. You don't know what I'm talking about." Kurotsuki scoffed and crossed her arms. "What does being lonely have to do with anything we're talking about?" Akiza let out a small laugh as she kept her head down. "Of course you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Only one person I've met knows what I feel in this village." Akiza tilted her head up with cold eyes. "Han does. Your cousin. You know, your family. The one you and your father and your uncle keep miles out of the village, away from everyone ever since he had the gobi placed in him. The one you all treated like the plague and drove certifiably insane. Is that ringing any?" Kurotsuki's Akiza across the face, stopping her from continuing. The hit only brought a smirk to the captured Kanoiki's face. "Touched a nerve, did I? I guess I picked that up from Fullmetal." She looked back at Kurotsuki with serious eyes. "That's what I'm talking about. I don't have a single damn reason other than duty to stay loyal here. At least Han has, your family honor, or his duty as the village's protector, to keep him from razing this place to the ground. I didn't even have that. And duty without any reason to serve is nothing." She spit on the ground. "Going missing Nin was the greatest thing I ever did." Kurotsuki reached down and grabbed Akiza by her chin roughly and made her look her in the eyes. "You won't be thinking that when they start in on you soon. You've never been T before, have you? Don't worry, they're not going to maim that pretty little face or mess with that pretty little body of yours. That's barbaric. No, but you'll wish they did, because the other ways are far worse, I've been told. But you'll see soon enough. You're going to tell us everything you know about Konoha, the defenses, the skills of their elites, current operations in the works, and about your little lover Uzumaki." Quote. Akiza smirked again. "And there you go again, I'll never do that. You're not getting a damn thing out of me, because there's only one thing in this entire world I owe my complete allegiance and loyalty to. It's not Konoha, it's not Jiraiya-sensei, it's damn sure not Iwa, and it's damn sure not you. It's Fullmetal." She leaned as far forward as she could, chained as she was. "He's the only one that was ever there for me. I was never a burden to him, never a waste of life. So if they think they'll get even a single syllable out of me about anything involving him, those bastards will be waiting an awful long time." Kurotsuki let go of Akiza and gave her one more look of distaste before turning to leave. "We'll see. I'll be back, Akiza-chan. My old friend. Sweet dreams." With that, the cell door was opened and Kurotsuki was permitted to leave. Akiza's head lowered once more after hearing the cell door close and lock. "I haven't had sweet dreams in 6 years." A small smile came to her face. "Only with him, he's the only one that could ever give my dreams peace. My Fullmetal. XXX. Konohagakure, middle of the night. As silence reigned over the night, Joshiro walked through the village before he stopped in his tracks. He let out a loud sigh. "You know, it's kind of appropriate that you would be the one out here, old man." From the shadows, Hiruzen's silhouette could be seen. "You remember all those years ago when you ended up goading me into being one of you ninja? Laughs. All those years ago I wanted to be AF blacksmith, can you believe that? A fond chuckle came from the shadowed old man. Yes, things were so much simpler back then. Do you miss it, Joshiro? Joshiro let out a slight laugh. Old man, things haven't been simple since the day I walked into this village with the old bat Pinako and Winri-chan. You should know something, I don't hold any real love for Konoha. When I lived with Naruto when he was a kid and I was a genin, you have no idea how many times I wanted to turn this place inside out because of how they looked at him. Waiting for me to slip up and leave him vulnerable, by himself, so they could pounce on him like jackals on raw meat. I was never going to leave him alone, he was my cute little brother. You were a very honorable young man. You still are. Yeah, I am. Joshiro said, and what kind of honor would I show by letting my little brother go off and get himself K? You could stop him. No, I can't. Joshiro said firmly, I can't stop him, and honestly I wouldn't even if I could. Because I understand, because I wish I had the strength and the courage to do what he is going to do back when I had the chance. Orochimaru. Joshiro nodded, yes, you don't know how many times that day runs back in my mind. Just for what? A theory of immortality that might not even have existed. He wouldn't have known how alchemy worked anyway. Why them? They were his only link. He took everything from me. My only bee. The white-haired genin took a deep breath and looked up at the moon, and now the same thing is happening to my little Ototo. Maybe alchemy is cursed. The devil's science. Naruto-kun still has you. He still has you and people that care. What? Friends? Joshiro asked the wise old man. He has people that would care if he was S or not, if that's what you mean. His teammates would be shaken for a while, the genin that graduated with him would feel it for a while, but the only one that would really care if he ever S would be me. Me and Akiza. Joshiro looked at the shadowed legend of Konoha. Akiza is the only person that has ever said that she loved him. I've never said it to him because we were both kids, we never had to, it would have been weird. But Akiza, she says it to him every day, and the way she looks at him and how he looks back at her. Joshiro shook his head. I can't let her S on him. He would break the taboo for her. He would try the one thing I never told him to do with his alchemy for her, he would try to bring her back from the S, and damn it, I can't let him do it. It would destroy his body, but he wouldn't care because his heart would already be S. He took the engagement ring on his finger off and K it before placing it in his pocket. I'll fight you if you won't let me leave with him to save her, old man. It would break Haku-chan's heart, but I can't leave Naruto alone. He's my brother. The will of fire does burn in you the way I knew it did when I met you all those years ago. Hiruzen said, to do this for your little brother. To go against an entire village just for the opportunity to do battle with another village for his happiness and safety. Entrusting Naruto-kun's safety to you even as a young boy was truly my greatest decision. He started stepping from the shadows. Joshiro's eyes widened once he got a good look at him. Old man, are you? Hiruzen was dressed in his full battle gear, the same gear he had only worn once in the last 3 years. Gear that Joshiro was very familiar with from their battle with Orochimaru during Konoha's invasion. I have never done enough for Naruto-kun. I handed off responsibility of his well-being to you instead of taking charge and keeping him safe the way you did. All Naruto-kun has ever done is protect this village one way or another for his entire life. It is time that I return that favor to him on behalf of all of Konohagakure, even if they won't do it themselves. XXX. Top of Hokage Monument. Naruto was lucky to be out of custody at the moment. Jiraiya had knocked him out with the Gogyu-Fuan, 5 elements seal, and sealed off any connection he had to Kyuubi. He couldn't even enter his mindscape to speak to her or see what it was like in there, so this is what it's like to not have a Biju. Naruto had to say that it sucked. His chakra control was shot to hell. He couldn't even stand on the cloud to fly his way to Iwa now. His plan of action was S in the water and he knew it. After Jiraiya hit him with the first seal, he placed a security measure somewhere Naruto couldn't reach and break himself to keep him from just taking the Gogyu-Fuan off himself. So now he couldn't even fix himself. With no plan of action and no way to even take the handicap off of himself, Naruto had resigned himself to sitting atop the giant stone faces carved into the cliffside. He couldn't sleep. Every time he slept he would see her face, and he had no one to talk with about this, not like he would anyway. I knew I would find you here, Naruto-kun. Naruto's eyes widened and his head snapped around to see Hinata standing there behind him walking towards him slowly. You would always find your way up here when you were younger and something troubled you. You haven't been up here in a long time. Naruto turned back towards the village, so you know about it by now, I guess. Yes, Hinata said, everyone knows about it by now. Her teammate told people. Then there was the ruckus from Hokage-sama's office, Jiraiya-sama carrying you back into the village unconscious. By now everyone in the village knows what happened. She let that set for a moment. How are you? I knew I should have been there. Naruto said to himself. Everyone kept saying it would all be fine, that I was just being paranoid about something happening. I knew better. And now she's gone, just as quickly as she showed up and leaving me just as unaware. Hinata walked closer. Would you go after her if you could? She said seriously, if you were able to go off after her, would you? In a heartbeat. Naruto replied, I would take off right now, and I wouldn't look back whether it came me or not. Missing Nin or not, I wouldn't leave her there. What about being Hokage? Hokage be damned, Naruto said with resolve. If me being Hokage couldn't change this, couldn't fix this. If me being Hokage would still mean that I couldn't save a single damn person that I cared for when it actually mattered, then what the hell would it all be for? You made promises, Naruto-kun. And you never go back on those. Hinata said, you promised Neji-Nisan you would change the Hyuga clan once you became Hokage. I already did that, he said, surprising her. The seal right? Naruto said, getting a silent nod that he couldn't see out of her. I already handled that. Apparently Ero Sennin had already been working on it on and off for years. I finished it myself to get his recommendation as a sealing artist. I just now did it in the downtime from the mission to save Gaara and never got to show him when we got back. I don't have any promises to fulfill except the Hokage dream, but no one ever really achieves their first dream, Hinata-chan. People switch dreams 3 or 4 times before they get the one they actually stick with. Hinata looked at him with a stunned look on her face. What is your dream now then? It's a secret, he said before turning around, but Akiza-chan was supposed to be a part of it. Hinata just looked at him as he was finally facing her. Why won't you cry, Naruto-kun? Naruto shook his head. Because crying won't bring her back. Because if I cry she won't be sitting on the couch when I go home. Crying isn't going to solve a damn thing except make people feel sorry for me, and that won't make them help me go get her. All they'll ever say is that I should remember her. No one says anything about saving her. Hinata sighed and activated her Byakugan before speaking a moment later. I can fix you if you want. What? Naruto replied in confusion. The thing that's keeping you from trying to leave again. It's something to do with your chakra, right? She said, still observing him. I can see how weak it is compared to normal, and how there's a major blockage of chakra flow centered around your stomach area. It's disrupting your entire system. Can you? He asked somewhat hopefully before his tone lowered to something more accusing. Will you? What do you want for this? Nothing. Hinata whispered. I don't want a single thing from you, Naruto-kun. You've done more than enough if what you said about the seal and my family is true. If I asked you for anything like for you to forget about her, or to see me as you would her for just one night, it would be the hollowest feeling I could imagine having. I don't want anything from you, just make sure you save her. Naruto gave her a small smile. You know I will. Hinata returned his smile and moved closer to him. Hold still, Naruto-kun. With that, Hinata began jabbing random points throughout his body, a few very close to his heart, a few around his shoulders and the bases of his legs, and even a few directly in his head. Naruto felt very nervous trusting Hinata with access to such vital areas, but he knew she wasn't a treacherous person. Hinata stopped and hit him a few times around his stomach, making her physically uncomfortable, but once she finished he felt completely revitalized. He looked at her in shock. It worked. He tried to go into his mindscape but was still unable to do so. Kyubi-chan, are you there? Tell me you're there. I'm here, Naruto-kun, don't worry. You can't call on my chakra, but the girl freed up the area of your chakra that was supposed to mix with mine. Right now your chakra is your own entirely, but you don't have any of my advantages due to my lack of presence in your system. It's better than nothing, damn it, and I don't need it to get Akiza back. Naruto pulled Hinata into a hug. Thank you, Hinata-chan. Thank you so much. Hinata returned the hug with a serene smile. Don't worry about it. I'm happy to help you. Naruto pulled away from her and turned to the edge of the cliff that he walked towards. If I don't come back, then head to my house and ask about the seal I told you I finished. You'll have it and can apply it to the others. It will break the old one and reapply the new one in its place. No visible marking until death to seal off the Byakugan. You have no idea how long this seal has been worked on, Hinata-chan. It's way before our time. With that, Naruto jumped off of the cliff. When Hinata looked over the edge, he was gone. Good luck, Naruto-kun. I know you can do it. XXX. A flash of light on the ground outside of the village came before a hole opened up, revealing Naruto, who jumped out and formed another transmutation to close it back up. Naruto decided to go as far as he could without flying, lest someone sense him and alert others that he was gone before he could even get a good distance away. Naruto proceeded to break into a run to get as far as he could to the northwest border to Kusa before trying to fly. Any sightings of him flying while still in High no Kuni would tip Konoha off before he could even get started. You were going to leave without me, you idiot. That voice stopped Naruto in his tracks and made him look over to the side where Joshiro ambled out of the shadows of the forest. I told you I was going with you to help Runt. I can't let you do something so stupid on your own. If something this stupid is going to happen, it's going to be a family affair, right, Zabuza-tusan? Shut up, white-haired brat. Zabuza said as he walked out from behind Joshiro, but as much as I hate your brother, I do like you, kid. I'm with you on this one. Something like this seems right up my alley if you knew my history. Joshiro pointed his thumb at Zabuza, master of Silent K. He's definitely going to be able to get us into Iwa and keep us off of everyone's radar for this. What about us, Joshiro-kun? Eiko and Blank walked out next, with Eiko having a playful smirk on her face. You haven't told him we were here yet. Naruto's eyes widened and he backed away. No, 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 hell no. Are you kidding me? You're all going to go missing, Nin, for this. Big boss, go home and take them with you. You have Haku-chan to take care of. You all have lives. Joshiro shook his head. You were here first, little brother. You ate up 9 years of my life, damn it. If you think I'm going to let you go after S, you must be as dumb as I look. Haku-chan will understand if I don't make it back, but we aren't going to think about that right now. Zabuza spoke next. Haku doesn't need me anymore. She has her own life now, and with idiot white-haired brat here, all I have to do is make sure he's useless and makes it home. I owe you both anyway, and this is how I'm paying you back. Eiko smiled at Naruto. You're like my little brother. I helped raise you, stupid. I'm with Joshiro. I'm not letting you all by yourself in the middle of nowhere. This will be easy, right? We're all strong, right? Blank rubbed his nose. I don't have a lot going on. Eiko smacked him. All right, damn. But I can't let my entire team and the Runt I've known for his entire life to do this without me, especially since I'm one of them. Eiko hit him again. Ow, damn. I told him the truth. I am you. Ow. Stop it, goddammit. Naruto opened his mouth to order them all home when an old voice that froze his over stopped him in his tracks. They're here for you, Naruto-kun. We all are. Naruto turned to see Hiruzen standing behind him in his battle gear, sans his helmet, myself included. No, Naruto said, shaking his head, still shell-shocked at what was happening. You guys can't go. You guys all have things to stay back for. Sarutobi GG, you were the Hokage, and what about Konohamaru? I have lived a very long time, Naruto. I have seen this village basically since its inception, and my time is long over. The Sandaime Hokage replied to him, and I've personally never seen myself fading into the pages of history. My life is destined to come to its conclusion on the battlefield as a warrior. Joshiro walked behind Naruto. You're not on this one, old man. We've got this. And Runt, you're my ultimate responsibility. I'm not going anywhere. Us too. Eiko and Blank replied in unison, both with different tones of spirit in their voices. Zabuza adjusted Kubikiri Hoko on his back. I've been getting for missions ever since I joined this village. I think I need this to remind people of just who Zabuza Momoki is in case people have forgotten. Naruto's eyes were radiating total disbelief. You guys. Hiruzen's face became pure business once that was complete. Now, just so you all know, and you're all painfully aware if you weren't before, this is off the books. An independent operation. Tsunade and others know nothing of this. This is to cover the village's tracks as best we can. No one will be coming for us, no one will be getting us out, and Konoha will have complete plausible deniability if we fail. Joshiro scoffed, yeah, I mean it's not like it'll matter if we fail. In the end the fallout won't matter to us if we do. After this is over we'll all either be S or bona fide missing nin when this is over anyway. Mayor. Zabuza said, been there, done that. Joshiro brought 'em all in, okay we all know realistically that chances are none of us are coming back from this, so if anyone wants to leave, now's the time. He looked around the group, from Naruto to Hiruzen to Blank to Eiko to Zabuza, anyone not feeling up to storming the place. He got no responses, good. Does anyone have anything to say before we go? Naruto did, you all don't have to do this for me. But nothing I say is going to make you turn around and leave. A smile came to his face, thank you all. When this is over for better or for worse there's no way I can ever repay any of you for this. His face turned completely serious, we're going to be walking into a rat's nest from hell. Every shinobi we end up coming across is going to come for your be like they were possessed because we're Konoha ninja. Amen. Hiruzen said genuinely. Right. Naruto said in correspondence, there are so many ways this can and probably will go wrong that we could sit here all night and map out 6 different plans that would all have 10 ways to fail each. But I don't care, I want Akiza-chan back, and I want to spit in Onoki team's face when I walk away with her in my arms. I want him to hate me the way he hasn't hated anyone since the Yondaime Hokage, because that means we succeeded perfectly. I want us all to come back from this, every one of us. And we can deal with the consequences when we're done. Joshiro nodded seriously, alright, before we go I believe we should all pray, so bring it in. The group all did so and took a knee bowing their heads, dear Kami, stay out of our way. XXX. An undisclosed location, presumably in Konohagakure. Danzo sat at his desk with a speaker playing the recorded sounds of chaos from Tsunde's office at Naruto's abrupt departure from before. I told you 3 years ago that you would have to do something for Konoha's safety one day, Uzumaki. That it was your duty as a Konoha ninja to do such. A smirk came to the bandaged old man's lips. I can think of nothing more fitting than for the greatest tool at Konoha's disposal to eradicate Konoha's greatest and most prolific enemy to ensure the safety of our village. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.